This is how the 2025 Sun Belt Conference Tournament will be played. Up until the 2024-2025 season, the Sun Belt Conference followed the same old conference tournament as any other conference. Depending on your record, you and a few other schools with similar records get a bye until the lower seed teams make their way to that round. Simple, right? This year, however, the conference has other plans. This year, they introduced a new format that looks to be a gauntlet. It starts off with the four worst teams facing off. Southern Miss versus Coastal Carolina and Louisiana Monroe versus Louisiana Lafayette. Which, at the time of recording this video, Southern Miss defeated Coastal Carolina and Louisiana Lafayette beat Monroe. Since they won, they will now go on to face a higher seed team. This occurs all the way until the semifinal, which is where James Madison and South Alabama will be awaiting their opponents. There are some that feel as though this tournament design will prevent drama and Cinderella teams from winning their conference. That can be seen as a good thing if you're a mid-major conference, however. What this format does is lets the best team represent your conference going into the tournament. We know in college basketball, sometimes the best team doesn't always win. I mean, if you look at last year's ACC tournament, North Carolina State found themselves as the 10th seed in the ACC and fought all the way to be crowned conference champions after beating the likes of Duke and UNC, all just to earn themselves an 11 seed in the NCAA tournament. Then they took that momentum to end up beating Duke again before the season ended in the Final Four against a strong Purdue team led by now Memphis Grizzlies center Zach Edey. Not every team will make a run like that. So it's less about the drama of it all and more about trying to get your conference the best chance to make some noise in the NCAA tournament. If a team like Southern Miss is able to make a run similar to NC State, then I'm sure it will be welcomed by the conference execs. But more than likely, you would rather have your best team in the NCAA tournament. These mid-major conferences get one shot. They only get one automatic bid. So they want to make it count. And that's why this tournament format is so great, because it rewards a regular season. The better you perform in the regular season, the better path you'll have to become conference champions. With the 1 and 2 seeds sitting in the semifinals, it's ultimately theirs to lose. Going back to the NC State example, they beat two teams who found themselves at minimum in the Sweet 16 in order to be conference champions. That only got them the 11 seed. So it's not as though you're really rewarded for being a hot team. I know NC State may not be the best example because they went on to make extreme noise in the NCAA tournament, but that's not going to happen for mid-majors. And on the other side of this, UNC and Duke were both 1 and 4 seeds respectively despite not winning their conference championship. So if I'm a mid-major conference, I would like to get my best team into the NCAA tournament to represent us, which is why this format rewarding the regular season is huge, because you can almost guarantee that your best team will be in the NCAA tournament. You can't afford your best teams to be uprooted by last-second shots, late bad foul calls after a hard season of work, just to see a weaker team make it to the tournament and lose by 40 in the first round. This may not be the way every conference tournament should be. I think it should vary depending on the conference, because you know your conference. You know how strong your conference is. Like for the SEC, I would love for them to cook up some crazy format because it's already been a gauntlet through the regular season. But I do agree it shouldn't look like this because a lot more teams are qualified, unlike this mid-major conference. At the end of the day, it makes complete sense why a conference in the Sun Belt's position would want to make a move like this. You want your best team to get into the tournament. You want a chance to show how good your conference can be with its top teams. And no disrespect to those weaker teams, but if they make the tournament and it's just off a high of winning a conference championship, are they likely to even make noise in the tournament? That's really what you want if you're a mid-major. You want your team to make it and possibly beat a Michigan State, possibly beat a Kentucky, just to bring in money, revenue, and eyes to your conference. In this day and age, there are plenty of things that we don't want to change, but this is one I look forward to seeing the outcome of.